宇宙全息一
Cosmic Holography I. Jiefeng. October 31st, 2005. Translated by Transin and edited by Kayer. The universe runs in holographic order and consists of the distributed psychic energy of the greatest creator Tao. Just as we humans are composed of the flesh and spirit of the same. From the infinitely cosmic to the infinitesimally tiny, each are closely related and connected together. I am in you and you are in me. On the macro scale, energy fills the space and time of the entire universe, while Tao controls the operation, development and changes of all things in within it. Therefore, it is an organic whole, and the seemingly unconnected multiple celestial bodies, phenomena, and people are its constituent parts, its cells, so the universe is holographic. On the micro scale, atoms, molecules, and people are consortiums of structure and energy which have mutual interaction with everything else and together belong to the unity of Tao and energy. So the universe is holographic. Try to pierce your toe with the needle. You will feel muscles tightening throughout your body, and your brain will jump with an immediate emergency response. If a lover or your parents are next to you, they will also react promptly. Why? Because you are holographic. Turn your computer on and access the web. Global data will stream onto your screen as you search. Why? Because the internet is holographic. Arthritis sufferers can sense rain while the weather is still dry, and many animals can detect seismic disturbances before the earth shakes. Why? Because the earth is holographic. The waning and waxing of the moon raises and lowers the tides, and sunspots directly affect climatic changes and the rhythms of life on the earth. Why? Because the solar system is holographic. Cosmic holography also means that the whole contains all of its parts and all of its parts contain the whole. Our bodies are constituted of 130 trillion cells and each of them contain all the information of the human body. That is, when they all assemble together, they constitute a complete human individual. Each cell is just an insignificant component, but when we divide them individually, each one can form a human body. Viewing them with Buddha's eyes, each of them is a complete human body with 5 senses, 7 holes, bones, hair, internal organs, 4 limbs, flesh, skin, and so forth. If we split a single cell, we will find that this inconceivable cell is made up of an equal number of even more inconceivable ones. Our complete image can be seen in a mirror, but if we break that mirror in half, then each half will reflect our complete image. That is, we will have 2 images. Break it in half again and we will have 4 identical images and so on. If we break this mirror into millions, billions, or even trillions of pieces, we will still see our complete image in each and every one of them. The number of potential images is countless. Even if a seed has not been planted in soil to take root, sprout, blossom, and bear fruit, its whole entity, the shape of its leaves, growth patterns, and so on can be seen with Dharma eyes. We cannot see the shape of a bud if we do not know what type it is and without referring to its blade with naked eyes, and we will not know how big it will grow, but we can see its size and shape by looking at it holographically. If you cut a growing leaf in half, then its whole image will be visible from the remaining half, and you can see its entirety from either half. All things are like this because the universe is holographic. Now that we know that the universe is holographic, our worldview and outlook on life will take a subversive leap. If we want to understand the Tao of Lao Tzu, the Dharma of Sakyamuni, and the thinking and scientific theory of Jesus, we will understand it thoroughly and at a glance, and our spiritual perception will open. Those with deeper roots can develop a series of special magical powers and arts, and will feel at ease in dealing with the affairs of their daily lives. For example, one big distress in life is the love between men and women. Between lovers and married couples, one always expects the other to be faithful and pure, but if they learn that the other is having a secret relationship with a third party, then they become distressed and sad, and no matter how much effort the other exerts to vindicate themselves, "I love you just as much, I really do," it will be useless because their credibility will have been lost. "You cannot be true to me if you also love that person, and your love is false and the love that you offer me is incomplete," would be the responses. Their distress is caused by not understanding the holographic nature of the universe. From the holographic universe perspective, if someone loves several people, even hundreds, thousands, millions, or billions of people, their love for each of them can be complete, true, and absolutely complete. It is like seeing oneself in a mirror. There is one self in one mirror, two selves in two mirrors, and a billion selves in a billion mirrors, but each is complete. Buddha can incarnate and rescue trillions because Buddha knows that the universe is holographic and Buddha is holographic. Conversely, if I am loved by 10,000 women, even if they also love other men, but I believe that their love for me is wholehearted and complete, then I will gladly accept their love. Likewise, if I love 10,000 women, then my love for each of them can still be true and complete. Why should you have to cling on to just one? Life is short. Does it matter if you love more than one? Other truths can be inferred accordingly. In short, oneness of man and nature, universal holography, subtle wisdom, and depth of understanding reincarnate into trillions.
宇宙全息2
Cosmic Holography II. Jiefeng. November 3, 2005. Translated by Treasure and edited by Care. Cosmic holography means that the universe really is alive, that everything in the universe shares the same breath and destiny, and that any local change, directly or indirectly, affects its entirety. A storm on Mars can cause colds on Earth, the death of a whale in the Pacific Ocean can cause grief in Nile River fish, and a butterfly flapping its wings in Alaska can cause a storm in the Cape of Good Hope. This is an extreme and exaggerated expression, but it conforms to theory of cosmic holography. An article by Jiefeng will inspire the awakening of human consciousness as a whole. This is an extremely exaggerated expression, but it conforms to theory of cosmic holography. The purpose of understanding things is not only to appreciate them, but also to use them to serve us and to maximize our freedom. Taking the way of the greatest creator is not for suffering or enduring hardship, but to maximize our enjoyment of life and to obtain more joy, pleasure, and happiness. To understand cosmic holography is not only to enrich our own knowledge, because gaining knowledge is not our purpose, but to apply it to serve ourselves and others. How can we make the knowledge of cosmic holography help us to navigate through life? 1. Since the universe is holographic, the greatest creator, gods, and Buddha are all in us because we are the cells of each of them. A cell contains all the information about the universe as a whole, and in the same way, devils also live within us. When our hearts are filled with love for all lives in the universe, then we have the character of the greatest creator. And when we show mercy to all lives, then we have the character of God and Buddha. But when our hearts are filled with hatred, weighing and balancing everything for our own self-interests, then we take on the character of devils. 2. Since the universe is holographic and each cell contains the information of the whole, then by understanding and appreciating ourselves, we can know all the mysteries of the universe, sense future changes and trends of the universe, and acquire information about the universe's past, all from our own present. 3. Since the universe is holographic, it shows that our memories exist not only in our brains, but also in each cell of our whole bodies, and even in the space and time of the entire universe. Our brains are just sensors, and through it we can extract records from hundreds, thousands, even millions of years. We can not only trace our own history over the past millennia, but maybe even recall the historical process of the evolution of the universe. 4. Whether 2a Bay 2 less prophecies, divination before saddle horses, Mayan or Martian prophecy, Tibetan remote sensing prophecy, revelations, or any other prophetic manuscript, they are all evidence of cosmic holography. They prove that people are able to accurately predict the future, as well as to recall images after several years, decades, and even centuries. 5. Since the universe is holographic, we humans are able to see the entirety of the universe, to see the Milky Way system and the planets that exist outside of it, and to picture the images of the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world. 36-dimensional space is no longer mysterious and incomprehensible. 6. When a small thorn is placed on one's toe, their brain will feel it instantly and react accordingly. Similarly, everyone's words and deeds are sensed instantly by the greatest creator and also reacted to immediately, which means that you reap what you sow, good will be rewarded with good and evil will be punished with evil, and that causation is the iron law of the universe, so we can believe firmly that we will receive the proper return for our self-refinery and self-cultivation. 7. The dream world is the symbol of holography, which proves that we live in other spaces at the same time, and that we are just a fragment of the holography of this moment. Based on how we feel and express ourselves in reality, we can know where our other self or selves live. If one has Buddha nature, then their negative self is in the Elysium world. If one is cultivating themselves to become a celestial being, then their negative self is in the Celestial Islands continent or the 10,000-year world. If one yearns for a free, joyous, and blessed life without family relationships, then their negative self is in the 1,000-year world. If one has deep love for the human world, then their negative self is elsewhere within the mortal world. If one enjoys fighting, striving, robbing, and seizing, or the law of jungles, then their negative self is in the animal world. If one enjoys dark and selfish activities, then their negative self is in hell. In A Brief History of Time, the great scientist Stephen Hawking realized that there is an anti-universe with anti-humans, and quantum mechanics vaguely detects antiparticles. For particles and antiparticles, however far apart they are, they seem to connect, and they can respond to each other and interact instantly. Therefore, we can infer that every Chanyuan celestial's negative ego, or anti-ego, is in heaven. What we need to do now is improve our consciousness, bring it into closer alignment with heaven, and return to our home. That is to say, to leave our mortal consciousness and let our subconsciousness return to its source. 8. Since the universe is holographic, we are not afraid of death. As long as consciousness exists, we can incarnate trillions of times and project ourselves into boundless worlds. I am the universe is me, so we can attain Buddhahood. With regard to this cosmic holography theory, I put forward the above 8 aspects as a starting point. I cast a brick to attract jade. However, we can draw 80 or even 800 more examples. From a sample, you may judge the whole, make efforts to draw an analogy based on a theory, let the fire of inspiration twinkle everywhere and always, and grasp the secrets of life as early as possible. 4 years upon years, after days and nights with sunrises and sunsets, people have been living so back and forth. Is this the time to change to a new lifestyle? If not, there will be no end to our troubles and suffering. Open all, close all.
时间的秘密
The Secret of Time. Sjeffing January 5, 2006. Translated by Transin and edited by Kayer. Eternity is long. Very long. It runs endlessly. Beginning, developing, changing, and concluding is ornamented by the waves of time. The universe flies in eons. Life twists and turns in years. Love and hate rise and fall in summer and winter. Feelings of gratitude and resentment emerge and disappear in spring and autumn. Time, mysterious time. The wonderful experience of bringing forth the new from the old, drowning the vicissitudes of transitional times, transforming hope into despair, and turning solids into gas and smoke. Life rises and falls in time. It goes up and down in time. Time. What exactly is time? It is the recorder of material cycles. It begins with the creation of matter and ends with its demise. It has these 8 characteristics. 1. Time is non-material. It is untraceable, formless, stateless, shapeless, heartless, senseless, invisible, untouchable, and can neither be heard nor caught. 2. Time is positive and negative. Future time is positive. Past time is negative. 3. Time is particular and universal. Its particularity applies to the specific. Its universality applies to the general. 4. Time is variable. It progresses unevenly. It changes as physical movement changes and disappears as physical movement disappears. 5. Time exists throughout all physical space. It is as big as the universe and as small as particles. Where there is matter, there is time. 6. Time is vertical and horizontal. It manifests itself vertically as the past, present, and future, and horizontally as momentary and eternal. 7. Time has different meanings under different forces. It changes as gravity and acceleration change, but has the same meaning under the same forces. 8. Time expands, contracts, and disappears. The quality, shape, and motion of matter cause it to contract or expand with changes in any of those. When matter disappears, time disappears. There is no time in the non-material world. Non-matter is a reaction to matter, but does not share any of its properties. All matter proceeds through generation, development, decline, and death, but non-matter has neither life nor death, so it has no time and is eternal. Tao, life, spiritual entity, ideas, spirits, thoughts, dharmas, the nature of Tathagata, celestial beings, angels, and the Elysium world do not have time. Therefore, the non-material world is eternal. Since the motion of matter is absolute, we perceive that all things run in time. In this sense, time changes everything and decides all. It can transform the decadent into magic, and the ordinary into extraordinary. Everything changes with the passage of time. Along the eternal river of time, all matter is transitional, illusory, and valueless. Time's control must end in order for one to achieve an eternal existence. As humans, it is to fish for the moon in water or to plow the air for our bodies to break away from our shackles, so the human body must follow its nature. To leave time, we must work on our spiritual entities. Life is short and the spiritual entity of life has many different directions in which to spread. Perfect spiritual entities go to heaven and defective ones go to hell. If we can perfect our spiritual entities within our limited lifetimes, then we can transcend time. In addition to transcending time, we must also work on our non-matter by revering and taking the way of the greatest creator. To roam in ideas, thinking, spirits, and other areas is to deal with eternity, and to transcend time maximally, and from within the confines of a limited time. When fruits ripen, they fall. When water flows, channels form. Once we make this breakthrough, we can enter horizontal space and time and immediately feel fresh and enchanted. Please refer to Time and Space of the Universe for further study.
人间剧本探秘
Explore the script of life. Sjeffing. March 24, 2017. Translated by Treasure and edited by Kayer. Is life dominated by fate? How does fate come into being? Is everything in life prearranged? If it is, then who arranged and directs it, and how can we still have free will? If there is free will, does it conflict with fate? If there is no free will, then does the causality law of you reap what you sow exist, or does it not? Is it true that every word and every act of everyone is prearranged? If so, then are we not biological robots? Is everything accidental or inevitable? Who carries out punishments, rewards, and so on? It is an extremely complex and enormous system, and it is impossible to reveal the whole system clearly. I can only draw a rough outline, and you, the reader, must verify it for yourself. 18 plots cannot be controlled by people in their own lives but have to be resigned to destiny. For example, their own parents cannot be chosen, arranged, or controlled by them. In fact, a lot of things in life cannot be either. Not only are the sizes of our eyes uncontrollable, but we cannot even arrange a single hair by ourselves. In the face of such vast complexities, we have to resign ourselves to destiny. If we cannot change things, then what can we do? Everything in the universe has its trajectory, all of which are run according to a well-arranged overall trajectory, and we are no exception. That is to say, we also have our trajectories. These trajectories determine the directions of people's lives, whether they will be officials or commoners, poor or rich, or male or female, and be subject to fortune or misfortune. Everything and everyone have been determined by their trajectory. Facing our trajectory, we are powerless. Who is writing your life script and arranging your trajectory of life? You are. Who is directing it? It is procedure. Everything in this life is established by the thoughts and actions of your previous life. This is fate. It is impossible to change the fate of your life because it has already been written. All of your efforts in this life only work for your next life. It can be said that your past determines your present, and your present determines your future. Since everything has already been arranged and planned out, and the story and plot of your life has already been set, then how do we reflect on man's subjective initiative? What good are an individual's efforts? If even what we say and do have been determined in advance, then why should we make any efforts? Individual efforts are reflected in one's mind, and how perfect a role they play. Our inner activities are not arranged by our script. Our free will is reflected in our mind and whether our specific role is performed perfectly or not. Such as in a stage play, the script has been arranged by a writer in advance. The director selects performers according to each performer's appearance, character, acting skill, and so on. The performers must act strictly according to the script and plot, and the director's requirement. If done well, the director will be pleased and the actors will receive more pay and have more chances to perform in future plays. If done poorly, the director will not be pleased and their opportunity for future castings will diminish. The quality of their performance depends on them. This is individual effort. Our inner activities are not arranged, nor are they destined. They rely completely on the free will and effort of the individual. It is entirely up to them to decide whether they want to have good or evil thoughts. Our inner activity is our thinking activity. Thinking activity is like a wave that spreads throughout the universe. That is, when the mind moves, its inner activity expands out to the universe and tells the universe what it is doing, and very loudly. Regarding this, we are unable to view or receive it, but gods know it. In other words, everyone's inner activities can be learned instantly by the universe and recorded in the procedure of Tao. The procedure of Tao automatically arranges the future fate and trajectory of everyone's life based on their inner activities. Karma, karma, karma. Then who rewards and punishes, and who executes the mechanisms of rewarding and punishing? Rewarding and punishing are determined by the procedure of Tao, but it is only the judge. The executor is neither the procedure of Tao nor the judge, but a factor of the boundless universe. A god or man, a dog, an ant, a storm, or an event. It is like a judge who sentences someone to death but never executes anyone personally. That is always left for a series of other people. The script of this life has been set long ago, but the script of the next life is always changing. People's thoughts and actions in this life identify their future life trajectories. If someone is destined to leave for the Celestial Islands continent, but becomes seized by evil, and does not play their current role well, then their trajectory of life to the Celestial Islands continent will change. Their revised trajectory may devolve toward the 10,000-year world, the 1,000-year world, back to the mortal world, or even to the animal world or to hell depending on the severity of what they do. As Life a Chanyuan's guide, I sigh with deep emotion during my directing the scripts of Chanyuan celestials. For instance, I planned to have a certain individual eat a fairy peach which had been determined by her trajectory of life. However, she failed to play her role as a Chanyuan celestial well in her course. I asked her to clean a toilet, but she failed to clean it thoroughly, so I knew that she was still unable to eat the fairy peach but only wild peaches. In this way, both her fate and her trajectory of life were changed. It is a strict law that absolutely beautiful things can only be enjoyed by absolutely beautiful lives. If we do not reach an absolutely beautiful state, then absolutely beautiful results will never appear. When we enjoy absolutely beautiful things but our personal quality declines, then those absolutely beautiful things automatically disappear. This is not only the law in the script plot, but also the ever-changing living script. Past scripts are dead, future ones are alive, and living ones are always changing according to everyone's inner activities and how well or poorly they perform. The impartiality of Tao is reflected in Tao gives to every life according to its desires. If you desire blessings in this life, Tao will bestow them upon you, but fewer will remain for your next life. If you want to become a wolf, it will make you one in your next script. If you want to become a celestial being, it will make you one. Tao will surely satisfy you and help you to achieve your goal, whatever you want to be. But it must be understood that the fulfillment of Tao is not executed immediately. It is arranged in the script, it takes a process and it takes time. You cannot expect an airplane to come the moment you ask for it. You need to be patient. It is crucial to remember that as your plane is coming, your needs cannot change. Once there is a change, Tao has to follow your needs. If you want coffee, but then decide that you would prefer tea, Tao will immediately prepare tea for you. If the tea has not yet arrived and you decide that you would prefer Coca-Cola, Tao will prepare Coca-Cola for you right away. When you change again, Tao will change again. In short, it will always satisfy you. Now, here is a core consideration. If you want a luxury car worth $1 million, Tao will check your bank account, your merits and virtues. If they are insufficient and your bank deposits are not enough, then that $1 million limousine will not be offered to you. Even if you need a needle, you have to check your bank deposits. As long as you have enough merits and virtues, enough bank deposits for what you want, Tao will meet your requirements and demands, or help you to achieve your goal. When a person runs out of bank deposits or when their merits and virtues are exhausted and they have no remaining blessings, then they will soon collapse, fail, lose everything, go to prison or end this life. Therefore, we need to give benefits, accumulate merits and virtues, and cherish good fortune during our lifetimes so that our blessings will last for our entire lives, even into our future lives. The universe is a huge script with countless subscripts within it, and all the small ones serve the huge one. No small script can exceed a larger one. The Milky Way galaxy is a huge script, the solar system is a medium-sized one, Earth is a smaller one, every country is a smaller one still, every organization is a much smaller one, and so on. Strings within quarks within atomic particles within molecules have the smallest scripts. Adding the non-material world, 20 parallel worlds and the 36-dimensional space, it is unimaginable and inexplicable for us to know how complex and how huge the master script is. The above is just a tiny bit of my superficial view based on man's bewilderment for your reference. To know more, you will need to work on statistics, analysis, induction, summing up from a large number of examples of human activities, both ancient and modern, at home and abroad. It will take a lot of effort for you to figure it out.